In today's breaking news, just like the last time, Cathie Wood made another shocking announcement in her recent interview with Diary of a CEO. In the interview, she broke down her bullish stance on crypto, on Bitcoin, and the massive multiplier she expects to see in just the next 5 years. As shocking as this is, what this means in my belief, not financial advice, what it means for XRP and its potential multiplier seems incalculable. It seems so massive, as XRP is the medium of exchange to Bitcoin being the store of value. As leading institutions, the likes of Harvard, reference XRP in relation to leading payment providers like Visa. As the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, speaks on the Ethereum chain and how it's of paramount importance that it is transparent and has the liquidity to handle real-world adoption, elements of XRP already has. Remember this 2025 Robinhood document on tokenization, where it explicitly highlighted the success of Ripple's tokenization of real-world assets on the XRP ledger, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of capital. Why do smart money purposefully avoid talking about XRP in interviews? Why do they do that? When Ripple is quoted and referenced in numerous of hundreds of research documents as the ideal protocol for the future of finance. If I can find these documents, surely they can do so as well. Cathie Wood's shocking interview here ultimately highlights the massive wealth transfer we are about to witness this year and for the years to follow. And if you don't want to miss out on these incoming opportunities, then come learn more here in the VIP. Wap.com/Coin Factory. From alpha institutional research documents, learn what the smart money are saying to their clients, allowing us to get ahead of the retail market. Educational courses, trade alerts, and so much more. Check it all out for 7 days free, linked up below in the description, and I hope to see you there. So to start off with, listen very closely to the interview here with Cathie Wood, where she not only gives her bold price prediction on Bitcoin and crypto, but also her reason as to why. Take a listen.
Because it does appreciate over time. Now you go through, it's volatile, no question, and that's the first thing people have to know about it. But it is becoming less volatile as more and more investors hold it.
So you think Bitcoin will potentially multiply in value by 15 times in the next 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that'd be pretty crazy.
It's a very big idea because it is a new asset class. It does represent a global monetary system, unlike any other digital asset out there. It is backed by the largest computer network in the world. The layer 1, which is the base layer, has not been hacked. Think about that. Since 2009, when it was released, not been hacked. How many systems can say that? And it is a technology. It is native to the internet. And again, digital assets, or any Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, all of them exist because they're vying to be the native currencies to the internet and to enable smart contracts and really transform the financial services industry.
Bitcoin, or should I say crypto, as a technology is the most innovative solution of finance that we have ever witnessed. And as it is native to the internet, which is the most innovative evolution of information transmission, the value of this asset class of crypto is extremely hard to calculate. But the collective sentiment is that it will be worth tens, if not hundreds of trillions of dollars more than it is right now in the future to come. The other collective sentiment, agreed upon by the masses from retail to institutions, is that as great as Bitcoin is, it cannot function as a medium of exchange. This CNBC interview here with Anthony Pompolino highlights that there are 3 main things people want with Bitcoin, which is to be a unit of account, store of value, and a medium of exchange. Listen very closely.
And I think there's three things that people want Bitcoin to be. They want it to be a store of value, a medium of exchange, and a unit of account. See things priced in Bitcoin eventually. In order to get there, what we are seeing is that Bitcoin is succeeding and the US dollar is succeeding. They're both strengthening together, and it is the weak fiat currencies that are kind of falling at the feet of those two. Now, one of the things that stablecoins have brought to the market is there's a lot of people around the world that say, I would like to use Bitcoin as a savings account. I call it a digital savings account. I would like to spend something that is not going to be worth more in the future. And so I'll use the digital dollar and these dollar stablecoins. And so if you think about today, the average finance user, they have a savings account, they have a checking account, and they have a brokerage account. That's what we're basically seeing recreated in the digital world. You're saving in Bitcoin, you're spending in stablecoins, and then you are going and you're speculating on whatever assets you want in your portfolio. What I think the big question becomes, and I don't have the answer, I don't think anyone does yet, is as we continue to see the destruction of the purchasing power of the US dollar, are we going to see people start to price things in Bitcoin? Now, I don't think that's something that's going to happen in 1, 3, maybe even 5 years, but I do think that there is a growing group of people who say, look, this thing called Bitcoin is ultimately going to be a store of value, as it already is, but it will become a medium of exchange as well. It just needs to get to a point where the world all agrees on what is it worth. And if you think in 2018, the world thought it was worth $3,000 a coin. Today, the world thinks it's worth $105,000 a coin. It's going to continue to go higher, and at some point it will reach some market equilibrium. And then when you see that switch over into, okay, now things are priced in Bitcoin, I think that's kind of the hyper-Bitcoinization that the Bitcoiners are waiting for. But there is a long path to get there, and the sequence right now is, why would I want to spend my Bitcoin if it's going to be worth more in the future? Right? I want to spend the dollars that are going to be worth less in the future.
How many stable coins?
Now, can Bitcoin be a store of value? Easily. Can it be a unit of account? In a sense, yes. You could say that a Ferrari 360 Spider, which is worth roughly $169,000, is worth about 1.6 to 1.7 Bitcoin. So yes, you could say that as well. But Bitcoin cannot be used as an effective medium of exchange. It is just too slow. That is where XRP steps in as the most effective and proven means to be this medium of exchange. Again, research institutions have said the very same thing. And better still, XRP, technically speaking, or in fact it can be used also as a store of value. The fact that we are seeing many institutions recently issue XRP strategic treasury filings with the US SEC is proof that not just a medium of exchange, but also XRP could be a store of value in the future. The fact again that Robinhood has reported that Ripple has already successfully handled hundreds of millions of dollars worth of transactions is huge news and proof medium of exchange. The fact that Harvard University has cited Visa's digital fiat currency settlement patent as an example of a blockchain-based system that utilizes XRP and XLM is proof that as well as XLM, but XRP is definitely the chosen ideal medium of exchange by leading institutions, whether they be in payment or in the research industry. Speaking of Visa anyways, it was also recently announced that they have granted its principal membership to Coinbase, cutting out the middlemen, the expensive middlemen of debit cards as well, and lets users spend their own Bitcoin, Ether and XRP anywhere Visa accepted, which is huge. And of course we just highlighted again that XRP is helping Visa do this with its blockchain-based system to handle the future of finance. So Visa are already reaping the benefits of cutting out the expensive middleman, cutting the costs and speeding up transactions with the help of Ripple and XRP. Ripple's expansion is still relatively early as well. As the best part about it, they're still continuing to form more and more partnerships, like recently with Web3 Salon to support Japan's digital asset startup ecosystem, offering up to $200,000 in grant funding per project on the XRP ledger. Big news, people. There is no way people like Cathie Woods, no way that she is not taking notice of this. The same could be said for people like Larry Fink as well, the CEO of BlackRock, who effectively explains the crucial elements of a blockchain project here is transparency and liquidity. Listen closely.
The role of Ethereum as a blockchain can grow dramatically. So if we can create more acceptability, more transparency, more analytics related to these assets, then it will be expanded. But I truly don't believe it's a function of regulation, of more regulation, less regulation. I think it's a function of liquidity, transparency, and then through that process, no different than when you years ago when we started the mortgage market, years ago when the high yield market occurred, started off very slow, but it built as we built better analytics and data, and then through better analytics and data, more acceptance and a broadening of the market. And I truly believe we will see a broadening of the market of these digital assets.
And not to sound like a broken clock again, but remember again, Robinhood literally showed, and Harvard, both of them showed that XRP can already do this. They are the real answer, not Ethereum, which is seemingly being used as a sort of Trojan horse by the smart money to distract you from what they really believe in, which evidently it has to be XRP. So in my opinion, not financial advice of course, Cathie Wood here saying that a $30 trillion Bitcoin market cap, which is a 15x here in the next 5 years, is insane. I pray she's right. But when you think about XRP, therefore, its use case, which is much more than Bitcoin's, and the fact that XRP's market cap is hovering around $100 to $150 billion right now, what sort of multiplier do you think Cathie Wood believes for XRP? Let me know think down in the comments below. Always do your own research, or better still, come chill, chat and learn more on the VIP. And as always, in the short term, think long term. And I'll see you in the next one.